portion of the show. That part of the show where we examine those three little words that men find so hard to say.
I don't know.
Way excellent. Okay. All right. Joining me in Uncle Red in the expert portion of the show this week is Mr. Winston Rothschild of the Rothschild Sewage and Septic Sucking Services.
Where our motto is, if your cup overflows, I'll be there with my hose.
Okie dokie. All right, this is our first letter, and it's from Edna K. It goes as follows. Dear experts, I want to go on a grand vacation. Should I travel across the sea or somewhere in North America?
All right, Edna, I'd say stay with North America, because you want to be able to drive home. I'll tell you, you get into your third week of Czechoslovakian cheeseburgers, you're going to want to slide into the van and head west, believe me.
No, I gotta beg to differentiate with you there, Red. Europe's where you want to go. That's where all the history is. It's where she all began.
Where what all began?
Western civilization.
That's right, yeah. Or more specifically, sewage systems. Oh yeah, you can still go see and visit the ancient Roman sewage system, the famous Cloaca Maxima.
Oh, boy.
Oh yeah. I'll tell you, when you're looking down a toilet drain that was built in 580 BC, it's almost like you're looking up the back end of your family tree.
Maybe our viewer would like to go to Europe, to visit museums and castles and see the sites where, the turning points of history actually occurred.
Well, whatever, if that's your thing, But I mean, how does that compare with seeing the home of Englishman Sir John Harington, who in 1596 had the only water closet in the entire British Empire?
Boy, I bet he had a lineup.
And I advise that you go to Europe, and go out and see things that aren't around here.
Oh, for sure. Oh, France, you gotta go to France. Oh, yeah, you gotta see the bathroom graffiti in Versailles. Oh, yeah, that's where, in Marie Antoinette's own handwriting, it says, let them eat cake, but go easy on the bran muffins.
Welcome to the expert portion of the show, where we explore those three little words that men find so hard to say. Okay. Joining me, Uncle Red, on the expert portion of the show this week is Mr. Winston Rothschild of Rothschild Sewage and Septic Sucking Services.
Thank you. Where our motto is, if your eyes are stinging, my phone should be ringing.
Okay. Today's letter reads out, Dear experts, every summer and fall, my wife makes fruit preserves. They're pretty much inevitable. Or does that say inedible? They're either inevitable or inedible.
Probably both, Harold.
How can I show her I really appreciate her preserves without eating any?
All right, okay. I find the fruit preserves are kind of like neckties. It's something you get at Christmas from people who either don't like you or are too cheap to buy you a real gift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, I give my mom's preserves to customers who haven't paid. Oh, yeah, it sends a real message.
Yeah.
Oh, and if they eat them, generates a lot more business.
Hi, Winston, you better hope your mom's not watching.
This show, not a chance.
Another thing, though, with the preserves is, you guys could be donating them to, like, food banks.
Oh, come on, Harold. Those people have enough problems. Baby.
See, no one said that preserves had to be eaten, eh? And my mom's preserves make great paint. Oh, yeah, they're colorful and they stick to anything. I use it to undercoat the honey wagon.
No, I think you guys are missing the point here, because the operative words that this fella writes are, how can I show her I really appreciate her efforts?
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I think, maybe, tell her the truth, that maybe you just don't like her preserves, but, credit her for things that you do really appreciate about her.
Oh, that's a good point. Because, chances are she's, fairly attractive.
Well preserved.
All right. Welcome to the experts portion of the show. And this week's experts, of course, is my Uncle Red and his good friend, Mr. Winston Rothschild. First letter goes as follows. Dear experts, My son has decided he doesn't want to follow in my footsteps. I want him to join the family business, but he has other ideas. What can I do? Well, you know, I guess you just have to start living with the fact your son has his own life.
Well, that's no kind of advice, Harold. Here's the man paying a tremendous compliment to his son, you know, inviting him into the family business. I'll tell you what this is. This is a show of fatherly love we're looking at right here. Am I right there, Winston?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, of all the times I wish my old man, you know, had brought me into his family business, eh? Instead of, you know, getting me to bring him ashtrays and bottle openers and going to answer the front door and telling the cops that he wasn't there.
Well, I'll tell you something. If my son ever asked me, you know, to be in the family business, I'd be so delighted I'd do anything I could to get him in there. You know, I would sort of make fun of everything else he tried to do, and I'd cut him out of the will, and I'd threaten him and slash all his tires if he didn't come into the business. You know, just in a friendly way, you know, make him toe the line.
Well, I completely disagree. But, I mean, you know, if you ask me, I would disagree. I think the son should lead his own life like Mr. Rothschild does.
Well, I gotta admit, you know, I've got no regrets, eh? You know, I mean, sure, I floundered around there for a while, had my share of failures. You know, at one point there, I wanted to be a bank president, then a Supreme Court judge. And then I just sort of dove headlong into the sewage business, and I've been up to my eyebrows ever since, eh? Yeah. But I gotta admit, it was a little bit disappointing that the old man never asked me. Because I'll tell you something, if I had a kid, he'd be more than welcome to join me in my family business. Oh,
He might not be interested in starting at the bottom, you know.
Well, whatever. I think the point here is that some sons just, you know, don't measure up to their fathers.
Well, sometimes the son is 5 times the man his father is.
Yeah, yours will be.
Hey, welcome to the expert portion of the show, where we examine those 3 little words that men find so difficult to say.
I don't know.
Alrighty, now joining my Uncle Red on the expert portion of the show is his best friend in the whole wide room, septic sewage sucker, Winston Rothschild.
If it's burping instead of slurping, call Winston to get her chirping.
Woo! Alrighty, dear experts, how can I get the job of my dreams?
Oh, good, an easy one. Dream small. Once you get those expectations down low enough, I'll tell you, life is a bowl of cherries.
Well, now, Red, I think that's good advice, you know, except for the advice part. See, I think your viewer needs to be referred to a person I refer to all the time, and that is self-help guru and real estate millionaire Anthony. Yeah. Anthony's latest set of motivational tapes, How to Get Rich Selling Audio Cassettes, is living proof that if you go out there and get your career, nothing can stop you.
Well, I can't believe you ended up in the sewage and septic sucking business there.
I just followed my dream.
You dreamt that? Glad I don't have to make his bed. I'm just saying.
Harold, it's not like I dream in, you know, while I'm sleeping. This is a daydream thing. Like I do it in the day and at night and, well, in the evening mainly. Because as Anthony says so succinctly on side B of cassette 14, series 2, he says, life is like a journey in a car. If you visualize your route, you don't waste a lot of gas and end up in Pittsburgh.
Okay, actually, yes, I have heard of this visualizing thing. A lot of sports athletes use it. Visualize. I've heard that before. A lot of professional bowlers and highlight players use it.
See, this is why I visualize my career all the time. I imagine myself knee-deep in success.
That's what's on the hip waders, is it, Winston? So is that the sweet smell of success that's stinging my eyes so bad?
See, here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Once you visualize your vision, then you gotta go out there and get after it.
All right.
Because, well, take Anthony, for example. I mean, he visualized that he'd make a lot of money off audio cassettes, right?
Yeah.
Who was the people responsible?
You and a lot of people like you.
I want to buy a set of them.
There's the sorry truth right there.
And now it's my favorite part of the show. That part of the show where we examine the three little words that men find so hard to say.
I don't know.
I love that part. Okay, joining my Uncle Red on the expert part of the show is Mr. Winston Rothschild of the Rothschild Sewage and Septic Sucking Services. Ladies and gentlemen, Winston Rothschild.
Thank you. I'm a good guy to know when you just can't go with the flow.
Charming. Alrighty. Letter goes as follows. Dear experts, I never really had a strong fashion sense. I don't have a girlfriend to shop with me, so I'm really not sure, for example, how wide a stripe to get on a shirt to match and complement my green and yellow plaid pants.
Why? Says he doesn't have a girlfriend. Go figure, huh? But hey, guy, I know where you're coming from.
Hopefully somewhere dark.
Come on now, Harold. I'm just saying that, a lot of men hate to go shopping for clothes, that's all.
Oh, speak for yourself, Captain Flannel. I just love shopping for snappy new outfits for myself. Oh, sure, I like to think of myself as sort of the Calvin Klein of sewage. See, as a great man once said, he said, you are what you wear.
I thought it's you are what you eat.
Well, I spill stuff on my shirt, so I got them all covered.
See, what you need to do is hook into world-famous self-help guru Anthony, author of the book, Don't Have a Crappy Life. See, Anthony says that what we wear says a lot about ourselves, right? See, Red, your outfit, it basically says, I'm laid back, sloppy, and really, really merry. Whereas Harold over here, that just screams, I'm energetic, I'm nervous, and inexperienced with girls. Two very opposite looks, two very opposite personalities.
Well, Winston, we are wearing pretty much exactly the same unit here.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, no, because you have more of the...
No.
Sort of the...
No, not really, no.
Well, okay, but look at Harold. He doesn't have half as much...
No, it's the same...
Oh, okay, so maybe it's not so much what you wear. I guess it's how you wear it.
Oh, you really put your foot in it, didn't you, Mr. Rothschild?
That's why he has the hip waders.
Today, on the expert portion of the show, we're being joined by Mr. Winston Rothschild. Alrighty, we got a letter, and it goes as follows. It's from a person. Dear experts, I have a law practice in Toronto, and my daughter is also a lawyer. I have always encouraged her to strive to be the best, but she is now doing better than I am, and I'm having trouble dealing with that. Is there anything I can do?
Oh, I've waited my whole life to give advice to lawyers, but this one's got me stumped. How about you, Winston?
Well, I don't know. Let's take it from the daughter's side of the point of view, the perspective of the thing, eh? I mean, this to me sounds like a classic case of your pot calling the kettle back.
So what you're saying is that maybe she's not trying to surpass him. Maybe he's just like, a lousy lawyer. Oh, like that district attorney on the Perry Mason show? that guy never won a case, ever, never. Well, at least not ones they televised. He must have won some that they didn't show because he was on that program for like 12 seasons, so.
Hamburger.
No, it's true.
No. That was his name, Hamilton Burger.
That guy reminded me a lot of my old man, eh? Oh, yeah, because my dad was always winning, and I was always hamburger, eh? I'll never forget, he used to say things to me like, hey, Winston, you're useless.
I'm sure he was probably kidding,
Yeah, it's just like when Uncle Red calls me doughhead.
No, it's not like that.
Actually, something? It was good for me. Sure, it helped pull myself up by the bootlickers. Oh, yeah. I mean, do I sit or do I get off the pot, eh? And now look at me, eh? I got the #1 septic sewage sucking business in the whole county. I am sitting pretty.
Okay. what we learned today, then, is that it's what you think of yourself that is important, and not to let your self-worth be dictated to you by your father or your daughter.
Or your nephew.
Or your uncle. Welcome to the expert portion of the show. And on this week's expert portion of the show, we have two experts, my Uncle Red and his good friend, Mr. Winston Rothschild. All right, here's our first letter, and it goes as follows. Dear experts, my dad says I should stay in school and get an education. I want to get out and get my dream job now. What do you think?
Oh, that's no contest. Get out there and get the job. Man, I'll tell you, a degree is just a piece of paper.
See, just a second now. The road to a higher education is not a one-way street, eh? Take me, for example. I took an alternative route. After I quit high school and started up, you know, Rothschild Sewage and Septic Sucking Services, it was after that I got my college degrees, you know, in my spare time. There are a number of great learning institutions to pretty much anybody who can read the back of a matchbook cover. Right now, I'm working on a degree from MIT.
Not the Massachusetts Institute of Technology.
No, Murray School of Tennis.
See, the way I see it is if I get my PhD from Murray's, that'll be 9 in total. Oh, yeah, 9, that's right. Winston Rothschild, PhD, LLX, SOL, IOU, DOA, VCR, PDQ, QT, and of course, TNA.
Well, look at you, Winston. You got all those degrees. Look what you're doing. You're running the sewage business. That's what I'm saying. The education's not worth it. Just go for the job.
Wait a minute. You don't have any education. All you're doing is hosting this show. You're no better than me.
So you're saying, like, we're both in the sewage business?
Well, yeah, but I take it away.
Portion of the show. And on this week's expert portion of the show, we have two experts, one being my Uncle Red, and of course the other being his good friend, Mr. Winston Rothschild. Okay, letter goes as follows. Dear experts, my wife says she wants a facelift, but I think she looks just great the way she is. How can I convince her she's beautiful?
All right, first thing you want to do is you want to avoid certain words. Saggy, wrinkled, weather-beaten. And also, you know, you want to talk to your wife about how cosmetic surgery is really a waste of medical resources. You know, this is money the doctors should be spending on things like liver transplants. Because as long as you can keep stocking back the booze, you won't really care what your wife looks like. I take it.
Well, it actually, you know what self-help guru and king of the infomercials, Anthony says?
Yeah, I do. He says whatever people want to hear.
Actually, what Anthony says is, if you look after the surface, the center will look after itself, eh? Yeah, Anthony has always said, you know, you only feel as good as you look.
Boy, if that was true, the guys at the lodge would be all dead.
Well, Red, I think you're just going to have to come to grips with the fact that people judge you by your appearance. You know, I mean, well, take me, for instance. I mean, if it weren't for my great looks, would I be who I am today?
The king of the septics?
Exactly. Hit the nail right on the head. And you wouldn't believe what these people can do. It's unbelievable. Facelifts, they got that thing, hipposuction. I mean, they can even give you a fanny transplant.
Kind of work the problem from both ends.
But I've had it all done. I've had the facelift, I've had the tummy tuck, the tushy implants.
Tushy implants?
Oh, yeah, check this out. Go ahead, Red. Feel the quality.
Thanks anyway, Winston. I'm sure you got the best seat in the house.
Harold?
Oh, yeah.
All right, no problem. Suit yourselves.
Well, personally, I totally disagree with cosmetic surgery. I think people today realize that beauty is only skin deep.
You honestly believe that, Harold?
He's counting on it.
Welcome to the expert portion of the show. And on this week's expert portion of the show, we have experts, my Uncle Red and his good friend, Winston Rothschild. Okay. First letter goes as follows. Dear experts, My guidance counselor says that the average person will hold down 5 or 6 jobs in their life. Does that sound right to you?
You know something? I don't look at it that way.
No?
I don't look at it as jobs. No, not at all. I look at it as filling your life with profitable activity. You know, as the great Anthony once said, if you're looking for self-help, you gotta help yourself.
Well worth $90 for that tidbit, I would say.
Well, no, see, I think what he meant by that was you gotta add up the amount of hours in a day that you could be working. So what is that, what, 20?
20.
Yeah.
Something's out of whack there. Either your math or your priorities. Something's awful wrong there.
No, see, and then what you do is you multiply that by the number of years from when you left school till when you retire, right? So
Right.
how old were you when you left school?
20.
I didn't know you went past high school.
Oh, yeah, I went past it on the way to the lodge.
Okay, so 45 years
Yeah.
times 20 hours a day.
All right.
So that's
What would that be?
carry-
45, 20.
a lot of time.
Oh, easily.
A lot of time.
That's what I got.
Yeah.
Whoa.
And see, the thing is, you could be making money with that time.
Oh, all right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you see, like, take me, for instance. I mean, you know, I am running a very successful sewage and septic sucking business. And I have something on the side.
Well, you might want to see a doctor about that.
You see, Red, the way I see it is, you know, I'm in that truck all day long, right?
Yeah,
So I could be doing a lot more with my time than just simply sucking out septic tanks.
I suppose, yeah.
So, I've now got a pizza delivery service. And a taxi service. And a courier service. If it's not on your desk by 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, it's free guaranteed.
Wow. A lot of courier companies can't guarantee that.
No, that's my pizza delivery guarantee.
It's that part of the program where we focus on the 3 little words men find so hard to say. I don't know. Okay, excellent. Alrighty, now, to join my Uncle Red and the expert person of the show is his best friend and the president of Rothschild Septic and Sewage Sucking Services, Mr. Winston Rothschild. This week's letter comes from a lady in Cincinnati, Ohio. Dear expert, I have been trying to start my own car rental business, and it's been a disaster. I only rented 1 car last year, and the guy never brought it back. So technically, I guess that's car theft. What can I do to save my business? Signed, the number 2 car rental company. We're not number 2, but we feel like it.
Well, your problem here is clear. It's market position, okay? I mean, well, you got to be first and you got to be best. If you can't be best, you better be first, because if you can't be first, it's not going to be enough to be best.
Now, is that true also in romance? Because these days it's awfully hard to be first. Harold's having trouble just getting in line.
See, this lady in Cincinnati, she wasn't the first to get into the car rental business.
Right, no.
So she should have picked a different business to get into, I say. You know, something a little more unique, you know. I personally would lean towards sewage.
Well, it might be a little difficult. Cincinnati's a big city, and, you know, maybe it doesn't run on septic tanks.
Well, that's too bad, you know, because it's a growth business. I mean, when you think about it, it's the last thing people stop doing.